Hello everybody, welcome to the video. I'm going to be working on my comic book. Um, I think today the theme is wine bottles. So here you can kind of see the broad spectrum of panels I have here. I'm just hoping it makes sense from a viewer perspective. So I'm going to be working on this bottom right panel. It's kind of peach color. Based on the image, you can you can tell the middle bottle is the most important one, or it's the one I'm mostly focused on. But as usual, I'm working on separate layers. Not entirely necessary, especially if you're doing it, making this art for yourself, sort of what I'm doing. I want to make the shape of these bottles interesting, and give them a little bit of a decorative flair. And I don't really have a set design for this. It's honestly, at this point, very random. But since this is a tiny, tiny, tiny panel and it's not a main focus right now, I will treat it as such. And I enjoy, making designs on the fly. And that's how a lot of these characters in this comic actually started. On the fly. I just started writing, and the designs just sort of created themselves in a way. And these particular panels, if you look at the broad spectrum, I'm going for more of a red color, especially from the top down here. Obviously I put red themed. So it's intentional. I don't let that shine just a little bit. So anybody that has been following the channel knows I've been working on this thing for ages. A lot of things happen, and it just gets pushed back into the background, and it's sort of neglected, but I sort of made it a pledge to try to finish this. So, at least within a year's time, hopefully. So what I'm doing is working a half an hour every day on this. So that's my goal right now. It's been quite effective, Sorry if you can't see me, it's in the dark. Um, I kind of like it like this because the screen, it's you know, has light to it, so. And whenever you turn on the lights, the shine really affects everything. So I only have a name for the purple bottle. It's called Dambul wine. Now I'm gonna have to create lore and backstory for all of this. So hopefully I can make another video on something like that. The bottle looks very interesting. Let's play around with the top here. I just wanted these bottles to look somewhat just different from, you know, just kind of unique. Make that like a brownish color. working with pixels here. You can see the edging. It doesn't, when you zoom out, it looks normal, but it's just interesting working so close into the painting or drawing. And this is where I believe, you know, oil painting and a lot of that helps in here, because sometimes you can't achieve that crisp fidelity. So it's kind of an interesting shape. And it's like, what kind of, you know, wine opener would you need to get this open? What kind of tool is required? Let's add some of this red, this deep red on the edge here. Let's add some on this side, both sides, since everything's enveloped in the red. And the actual bottle. And you know, I just made this up on my head. There's no not a whole lot of planning. All right, it's interesting enough to where I can. So I want to go back to this bottle, the middle bottle. And add a little bit more detail. So this is more of the color, it's just like magenta. A little bit of tint down on the bottom. Let's go up here. So this is more of a normal bottle. I sort of wanted like almost a leather straps kind of look around here. So we'll put the cork on top here. It's more of a traditional looking cork. All right, let's. Ooh. A little bit of the red into the cork, even though it's like more of a matte texture. Or material. Sorry. So, I worked on these bottles. I improved the middle bottle, and I created a green bottle to the right there. In a future video, I'll work on the bottle on the left side, and I'm gonna expand on the image. Just give it more context to what's going on in the story. You know, why is it this red background? What is this character focused on? You know, why is he looking in this direction? Um, so that's sort of my own. You know, how am I figuring this story out, and how am I figuring out on my own? Has to work for another person to actually read it. So I hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.